The 100 drops the P. All Hardware 2 cars are picking up Autosteer, kinda. A massive update for the Tesla app is coming soon, and way, way more. Lots of news over the weekend, so strap in for a long one. Here are your Tesla tidbits for January 23rd, 2017. Teslarati has the big lead-off story today as Tesla has finally released the long-awaited Model S and Model X 100D variants of the vehicles. The Model S 100D clocks in with an EPA range of 335 miles per charge, which now makes it the longest-range production EV in the world. It takes the title from the Model S P100D, which despite its thirsty motors, held the title upon its launch with a then world-best 315 miles per charge. For those that like their EVs in the form of an SUV, the Model X 100D settles in at 295 miles per charge, up just a touch from the 289 of the P100D version. Perhaps more important than the range improvement is the price improvement of the two vehicles. The cheapest Model S P100D you can purchase will drain your bank account to the tune of $137,800, while the newly introduced 100D version boasts a comparatively svelte price tag at $95,800. You can literally buy the Model S 100D and a base Model 3 at launch for less than one Model S P100D. You can do the same with Model X, though with a slightly tighter spread, with the P100D costing $138,800 and the 100D setting you back $101,800. Good to finally see the 100D option arrive. The question now is how long the 90D remains. With the price difference between the 90D and 100D vehicles in both flavors being a mere $3,000, I can't see the option remaining for long. Likely we'll end up seeing the same software-limited phase-out as the 70D with the similarly minimal capacity difference of 5 kilowatt hours between it and the 75D. I give it to the end of the quarter at best. Elon greeted Hardware 2 owners with an early evening tweet treat on Saturday saying, quote, Autopilot for Hardware 2 rolling out to all Hardware 2 cars today. Please be cautious. Some cars will require adjustment of camera pitch angle by service. Autosteer limited to 45 miles per hour on highways for now, i.e. heavy traffic where it is needed most. Limit will raise as we get more data, end quote. A salient question was posed further down the tweet reply stream by Twitter user @JakeBathman asking, quote, how will owners know if their camera requires adjustment, end quote. Elon responded saying, quote, car won't complete camera calibration. Working on software solution to adjust image crop dynamically so camera more robust to pitch angle, end quote. So everyone on Hardware 2 now has Autosteer, albeit a gimped version, just like the test group. At least the masses are getting an extra 10 miles per hour to work with. We go now to Electrek for huge news on the app front. While the app has received incremental updates since its inception, the new version Electrek reports on is a complete overhaul. To start, the UI will be completely redesigned, allowing for hotkeys to accomplish things rather than flipping through tabs. Your car will have a more detailed render, and you can refresh the status of a given page. But that's just the start. Phones equipped with fingerprint sensors will allow you to sign in with a tap. You can set a PIN from the app for people to use the car, and the app will now have widget support to let you see your car at a glance from your phone's home screen. Huge improvements all around, and they can't get here fast enough. Back to Teslarati, where we're getting some arguably bad news from the design studio. Much as with Model X, Model S has now ditched the completely custom interior choices in favor of 5-set combinations, with the option to switch out the trim on any option in favor of carbon fiber. It's obviously disappointing to see the ability to have greater choice go by the wayside, as this has always been a hallmark of Tesla, not having to take a package on a car like traditional automakers. But it obviously brings with it the ability for Tesla to scale up production as well, and so I suppose we must sacrifice for the greater good. Sometimes you can find interesting Elon takes buried deep in the replies to his initial tweets. For example, after celebrating the NHTSA findings that Autosteer-equipped cars crashed 40% less often than non-equipped cars, Twitter user @Tachote asked, quote, can that turn to 80% with Hardware 2, end quote? Elon responded that, quote, our target is a 90% reduction with Hardware 2 as the software matures, end quote. This would represent 0.1 accidents per million miles driven if achieved, or to put it in a slightly more readable form, 1 accident every 10 million miles driven. One of many theories on the future of Tesla is that future cars will drive themselves to service appointments where possible. I've seen plenty of folks talk about this as not only possible, but probable, and now a Tesla executive has referenced it according to Electrek. Jochen Rudate, director of Central European Sales, mentioned this possibility in an interview with Manager Magazine. Quote, "Our service infrastructure is growing with the needs of our customers. We will double the Tesla sales and service centers to 26 in Germany by the end of the year. We will also more than double the number of our employees. In addition, our vehicles need much less service than the competition. Software updates replace the workshop visits in many cases. And think about what will be possible when Tesla models will soon be completely autonomous. They will deliver themselves to service centers." End quote. Tesla has completely denied this being an actual announcement, saying that Hudat was saying this jokingly and that it's not a product announcement. Even so, it shows that even Tesla executives believe this to be a possibility down the road, even if it's not an official product announcement. Finally, listener at Wavestock on Twitter sent me our final story of the day way back on Friday. If you've not seen the pack of Model X's all deploying their doors yet simultaneously, it's a pretty awesome thing to behold, and you'll want to pay a visit to the show description for the link. A video taken in Beijing, China shows 100 Model X's all lifting their doors simultaneously. I'd love to know how they synchronized it because it was pretty near perfection. My eye couldn't find anyone out of sync. Looks to have been an owners' meetup of some sort, and I say congrats to those owners on the show. Check out the links to today's full stories in the show description. If you get some value out of the show, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Thanks so much to my super patrons John Waltower, Drew Schuyler, and Cookie UK for their support at the $10 plus level. As usual, though, if you have nothing to spare, it's no big deal. You can still support the show for free with positive reviews and by spreading word of the show. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits, just like at Wavestock did. Of course, the email address is there as well, podcast@teslatidbits.com, and I want to thank the folks that have been sending me messages there recently, too. That's it for today. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.